The government launched the implementation of the Parish Development Model, PDM, using a whole government approach on 26 February 2022. The overarching goal of the PDM was to attain socio-economic transformation through improved productivity on households and enterprises at parish level. The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a government-led initiative aimed at transforming subsistence households into money economy and lifting 17.5 million Ugandans in 3.5 million households out of poverty. The PDM initiative was launched on 26 February 2022 in the Eastern District of Kibuku by the President of the Republic of Uganda.
This is an NRM manifesto program. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
This one of agriculture will be at the parish level.
Now, parish development model,
Because first of all, it is in here. But secondly, we have removed the government people. Because previously with DADs, even with the Operation Wealth Creation, government people were the ones giving seedlings, giving pigs, giving. They are the ones who would decide that you get, this one should not get. We shall get the money and give it to your government at the parish. Government here, we must clearly tell our people that there are two ways of agriculture. Intensive agriculture, but you do high value things which will give you more money, although you are doing it on a small scale. And extensive agriculture, where you, yes, get little money per acre, but because you are using many acres, you end up getting good money. Dairy farming, zero graze farming for dairy. Pigs, abatari basiramu. Poultry, especially of eggs. Fish farming, and of course you need food. You need food for the home, cassava and so on. This is the real core of the issue of the point. Number one, go from Okoro Chidajonka to working for the stomach and the pocket. But secondly, do so with the Chibaro. Because when you ukora with Okutomera, without Chibaro, you will never get out of poverty.
It was a strategy to improve service delivery and alleviate poverty at the grassroots level.
And help our people to utilize this opportunity to get out of poverty. I also want to encourage the beneficiaries, the local people, the Ugandans, to use the funds for the intended purpose. And of course, as government, Your Excellency, we shall not tolerate any misuse.
In our efforts to assess the progress of Parish Development Model, PDM program, we started our surveillance with Butebo district, which is found in Bukedi sub-region, where we found Kedi Patrick, who selected the enterprise of poultry. Kedi is a resident of Katakwi village in Kangado, Butebo sub-county in Butebo district, and when he received his 1 million shilling from the PDM program in August last year, he spent 580,000 shillings on buying 200 broiler birds, which were 1 day old, and the balance was spent on the feeds. And when the feeds got finished in 2.5 months, he sold 80 birds to enable him buy feeds to raise the remaining birds, and right now his birds have grown up to 6 months and have started laying eggs.
PDM found when I put up a house structure, but there were no birds at the moment. So when they brought in their money, I decided to bring in birds. I bought 200 chicks. Each chick I was buying at 2,900, a day-old chick. And I bought also feeds. There are 4 bags of feeds, which I brought up these young chicks. And they grew up. After 2.5 months, I sold some. I sold 8 of them in order to get more money to bring up the other ones. So the birds which are brought up are these. They are 100 and the females are 104. The males are 11. They have started laying eggs. At the moment, they are laying 45 to 50 eggs a day.
Kade says that his project is moving on well and it has started benefiting him since they lay between 40 to 50 eggs on a daily basis, and his plan is to have around 2,000 birds by December this year, 2024.
And now my plan is that I want these birds to lay as they've started laying, so that I can get the eggs and take for incubation, so that I can get more chicks. Yeah, that is my target. The project is moving on well because now at the moment they have so far made 6 months of age. I'm intending by the end of this December, around December or November, I want to have at least 2,000 of these birds, of Korea birds, out of these ones.
Kade's project can total up to 4.7 million shillings if he's to sell off all of them, which makes him able to pay back the 1 million which he was given from the PDM. And he adds that his standard of life has started changing since he's able to pay for his children's school fees just from the money he got from the eggs, and however thanked President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the PDM program.
Now these birds, if I was to sell, these birds can go, the female birds can go at the cost of each bird at cost of 40,000, of which 104, that is about 4,160,000 for those female birds. But the male cocks, those they can go at the price of 50,000, of which the 11, that's 550,000. So it rounds up to, that is roughly 4.7. I like the broilers because they can resist according to any environment which is there. This project at the moment is going to help me in educating my young children, the young children, 2 of them who are at school, and also to be able to help me in household issues. I'm so glad and very happy to see that what the president gave us has really helped us.
Out of the eggs that Kedi picks from his poultry farm every day, he has started taking them to Palisade district for incubation, and he says that incubating an egg costs only shillings 400, and so it will help him to save the money which he would have spent on buying day 1 chicks, since he was being given a chick at Uganda shillings 2,900. And now he also calls upon government to support him with an incubator machine, so he starts incubating these eggs from his own farm so that he sells chicks to the farmers around.
If I'm to buy the other birds from the company, the chicks, they sell to me at 2,900. But when I take my eggs for incubation, each egg at 400, I still remain that the birds, the chicks, they will cost me about 400 shillings per chick. And the other thing else I wanted, if PDM can be able to give me at least either money or they can get me an incubator that can help me in hatching these birds.
His wife, Ikeba Benon, says that this project has helped to keep the children busy instead of wasting time in non-meaningful things, because when they come back from school, they take charge of monitoring the farm, feeding the birds, and also picking the eggs.
When they come from school, they are the ones monitoring, picking eggs, and even giving food. Because most time they don't want to go away in order to pick eggs. They are struggling, every time they monitor. And the ones which jump out to bring back. Because we are near the road, anything can knock.
Kanya Emmanuel, a resident of Kaduyoni Parish in Butebu, is also one of the PDM beneficiaries. For him, He chose rearing local breed poultry birds, and when he received the funds, he bought 10 chicks which costed about 140,000 shillings, and he used the part of the balance to buy the feeds and also invested in maize cultivation. Kanya says that his project is progressing well because he's having 193 birds, and he even harvested the maize he planted, so the birds are currently feeding on his own maize.
Nagureko enkoko 10, egindi nagulanga 8, egindi 1,000 n'ekintu. Ntandika okugirisya nga njirisyako emmere naye mpolampola just kugula brandi awo okukyoma brandi 10, 200 nate ano nindimiraku okusente ginyere egyo nindimirako duuma wange ekitegeeza esaawa gino giri kulya duuma wange esaawa gino ndinganjereri enkoko otandikira ku ejjerera bisonga n'uno utontono ndikwerya enkoko 10, 9, 3.
Kanya, who started the project in October of last year with 10 birds, is now approaching 200, says that his dream is to have a poultry farm of not less than 1,000 local breed poultry birds, so that he becomes an example of those who receive the PDM money, and he has narrated to us the technique he uses in order for his project to multiply very fast.
Okolo wangu njalulisha enkoko igiba 2 nga jalwire kumpi kumo oba 3 oba 4 nkwata omaawo moiza nakuuma omuyonu odogonde ni mutera ni mutolo kuwana nabanga netasobola okubika mangu nete alole mangu ekitegeeza nti mwibanga ya ntono mbenga njirire enkoko nyingi.
He meanwhile thanks the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the efforts to ensure that his people move out of subsistence farming so that they do not only work for the stomach but also work to have money in their pockets.
Natucha okwebalya eryo President waisu Yoweri Kaguta Museveni olwenteekateeka enejja ateekerera PDM okututoola omuwaavu titwakolera kidda kyonkani ng'owatera okukoba tukolerere nakasente mu nsawo maite nti enkoko egyo mbanjitundire nga gizwire okusane otwala average y'emitwalo nga 22 kumpi ukaire omeka oli kwaba mu ukaire 4 naye ekigendera kyange ntaka kibe ky'okubonerako eri abandi.
Another beneficiary in Butebo district is Temuko Fred, a resident of Bunamwera village in Kaberekeke parish in Petete town council. And for him, he chose piggery, and when he received the 1 million shillings from the PDM, he bought a mature female pig at 600,000, which was about to give birth, and he spent the 400,000 to buy the feeds and also set up the housing structure for his project. In a period of about 1 month, it gave birth to 9 piglets, and although he sold 2 of them to solve his needs, the remaining 7 piglets can now be sold at 250,000 each, which totals to 1,750,000 shillings. And even the mother is about to deliver the second time, so the project is doing very well for him.
Namgule mtwalo nkaaga nga izire ate ana gyasigaire nisimba kumeka nyumba egyasigaire ningula kumemere yabera bana 9 nitola kabandi nintunda enda tundire ninganyula mwekyo ate ano embize gisigairo ngire embizi 7 onomaye azwire abana bali awo kana nombize mwejiza ndi kumtunde mtwala 25 ate nga neyagala kubaginyerera.
Temuko says that ever since he received this money, his life started changing, and he is very hopeful that through the progress of this project, he will be able to pay school fees for his children and also diversify into other enterprises. And he wants to be a role model of piggery in his parish, such that other beneficiaries who are in the same enterprise can go and learn from him.
Hata ne project enunge kwete yokusa enokuyamba okusomesya project eno ngabire kusa kunyongera totokulisa ebintu ebibeere nga timbizi nyabe maiso project eno ngabire kusa planning nokigula nane kyoma ekyasyange mere yange embizi nokusomesya abawo kitundu baize bona begere kunzi.
In his appreciation, however, to the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for this program, he composed a song praising His Excellency for the Parish Development Model Program, and he sampled it for us.
Kaguta Museveni webale, Uganda moto moto, Parish modo ya womaiso, Uganda moto moto. Kaberekeke ya womaiso, Uganda moto moto. Webale, webale, oh, webale ino, webale. Paishimodo yebale, oh, webale. Kaguta Museveni webale, oh, webale. Shakubu, Paishimodo.
When we headed to Kibuku district, where the national launch of the parish development model took place, we found Kiria Paul, a resident of Bujiri Central Village in Bujiri Parish, Kasasira Sub-County, and chose Cassava Enterprise. And when he received the 1 million from the Parish Development Model Program, he used the 500,000 shillings to rent 3 acres of land. Then he used the balance to prepare the garden, buy cassava stems for planting, and the rest was spent in weeding his garden. And right now, his cassava garden is ready for harvest and is expecting to harvest not less than 6,000 kilograms of dry cassava.
Nafunira milioni mwaizo PDM ni nima omwogo. Mwogo napangisirie keita kali emitwala 5. Ni ngula kebisale ya mwogo emitwala 15. Ni nimi siaka matende emitwala 5. Ni nzubi siako omwogo ogwo emitwala 15. Na wainengo mwogo kyanyanguira mangu kulwensonga nze nti igwo tinfuira inzuba uzubi ninguleka aho ate ano nsubira mwogo ogwo ogukungula ekiro kakaaga kuba nalimireka 3 nabangu natunda kutetezena nebisale bine binagulanga ogule bya mwogo zena nabitunda nifuna moka kasente.
Before PDM, Kiria used to buy food for his family since he didn't have enough land for cultivation, but right now there's food security in the family since they have already started feeding on cassava, and he also sells some fresh cassava to women who fly cassava chips in order to have something in his pocket.
Ndikune katakali katono kubanike kalima ekumpe makagange. Nensubira nti muno mwentandikira okupangisha onafunire ka capital kano ka president Museveni kyatwaire ka sente kan subira okulima ingule eitakale lyange omwogo gwerere eresawe eno natandikira okula kosoolo okula nindyako kubanga nsubira yemere saa eno ndi wotingula nalingula uguli eterera gusigala kuwo sumba tulyako tako kutunda era kula nintunda kunifuna mwesente tegeza kubagunya mbaka ikemere ate gukoleranga e business zeno kufunamo kakasente.
Some parts of Kibuku are surrounded by wetlands which are being used for rice cultivation, a practice that affects the environment. Through sensitization by the government, some farmers have started adopting fish farming in wetlands because it is environment friendly, and one of such is Mulwani Moses, a resident of Kasasira 1 village in Molu Parish in Kasasira Sub-County in Kibuku district. And he had interest of fish farming, and he had dug a fish pond. So when PDM came, he had chose fish farming as the enterprise, and out of the 1 million shillings he received from the PDM, he bought 1,000 fingerlings of catfish, which costed him 500,000 shillings, and the balance was spent on the feeds.
Ona funire ogena tambwire nimbona nga bakungwire sente nyingi nifuna interest ye zena naizire kutandika okukola niki kina kinu era Paris model banjagire nga kiina kino already niki kiriwo era nimbasaba kumpa niki byenyanza bampaira kakaire kamo akakaya mukakaire ako nagulireke onano fish catfish 10 nije mtwale imeka atano buli kenyanza kamo akagulanga endusu 5 emitwala 5 ninjigula mu emere.
Catfish are harvested when they are 8 months old, and he has reared them for 7 months, and now they weigh between 2 to 3 kilograms each, and if he considers an average of 2 kilograms each, sell at a cost of 5,000 per kilogram. He estimates to earn about 10 million shillings, and when he deducts the cost of feeding and the capital, he will remain with a profit of 5 million shillings in just a period of 8 months. He strongly believes that this program of PDM will make him a very rich man.
Ebyenyanza bino nakalise emyeri 7 naye tukungula ku myeri 8 kasi tutola mutukola niki nitutunda kine ekyenyanza kyenkwaite kine saawe kale kiri kuyunga kiro otisa n'omunfunze tubyemera tubifaanana nti byekankana obuzito so nokutwala average yekiro gitya 2 ndeka munemanya nga nfune milioni imeka 10 ati ana akati awo oyo mbanga ntweleke ensasanya nge gina tairemu nsigazaawo emilioni gitya 5 ntola kuzena mpaka bana kasukulu fees akanda kasigala nenkairya ina office point project yange ni yasigala ngakola niki yongere yabo maiso o president amagezi gano ge yaletere gali kwa tufuula abantu niki abagaiga.
In Mbale district, onion farming is one of the enterprises which were chosen by a number of beneficiaries, and one of the beneficiaries is Masawi Mansula, a resident of Lobuso village in Budwale parish in Budwale sub-county, and we found her when she was drying her onions which she had just harvested in February. Asawi told us that when she received the 1 million from the PDM through Lusobo Onion Farmers Group, she bought 2 kilograms of onion seedlings at 700,000. She also bought fertilizers and chemicals for spraying, and it has taken about 6 months for her onions, and based on what she harvests, she's expecting to earn 3 million shillings.
Nito mitwalo isanvu nilo nagula kufantalaiza mitwalo abiri nagula kamera sige kufona gamala mitwalo liko nasobodesa kuba nti milioni yeseyewa na bibyala gumwesi gwegumwenda biminta gwegumisanvu na bibyala omwesi gwegumwenda ari saati noni tasimbikungulira mu mwesi gwekabiri yamaleji mwesi mukaga arisubira nti ngabere byamberere bikubeyi iriyo nyana afuna milioni 3.
Masawi, who is an aging woman whose legs have started weakening, says that Parish Development Model is a very good program which has already started transforming her life, since her children are already studying on the money that comes from the sale of onions, and she plans to construct a house out of the profits of the PDM money.
PDM gijanika kubula inabi kubanga kyesinkolere shigali ibintu bya pesa gesi yanje da nagiye nagafunye mu mugasona ali me ibintu byose nasobolesa gusomesera mu abana base bona saati nentu yesingo nako ya impa mungo nako muntu yo mwana sobolesa kujya kulota anti ni cyesiri unkolere maso nasobolesa kuba anti nimbaka muntu yes nibigere byafwagana na mukadigi kanje sakanda bisesi ndikuti kubanga yankolere bulayi nasanyuka nabera nsima nababa 7 enumenti sima na government iri kwa chesi yankolera kubanga mu maka gas empuliranga enafuna mpesa agondi bulina ate nkirosera ni kuba bulai.
Besides Masawi, there are several farmers in Mbale district who chose onions, especially in Busano sub-county, and although we did this documentation when they had just already harvested and sold their onions, some of them bought heifers out of the profits, and they have already prepared their gardens for the next season. When we cross to Bududa, which is one of the mountainous districts of Elgon sub-region, we started our field from Bumakita Parish, where we found Wabule Petwa, who selected enterprise of piggery after going through various PDM enterprise sensitization meetings by the district officials. Petwa narrates that when she received the 1 million from the PDM in April 2023, she bought 5 pigs at 150,000 each, which totaled to 750,000 shillings. Then she spent the balance on feeds, and by the end of July, all her pigs had given birth to 32 piglets. But unfortunately, 2 died at birth, and she remained with 30, which she sold at 50,000 each and earned 1.5 million shillings, of which she bought a dairy cow of 1.2, and she used the balance to vaccinate the pigs, bought some feeds, and paid school fees for her child.
Ikulupuyese na matoto wa pikari. Nyalisa kufuna tinusu milioni ndwera. Alo milioni ndwera nakula motsimbi titirana nakula khoni tikenga timbi tikimutale khumana kirana ndwera. Ali tiyole khusala. Ali ngatiole khusala na tiasala timbi tikata asatu mobili. Ali khu asatu mobili tiava khotenga tibiri. Tiala ma asatu. Bilimbi tinakula kimitwalo chenga kirana. Ali ni milioni kimitne sisinza. Aliho milioni sisinza nakula kho half milioni ndole kimitwalo kenga kabiri jala makenga asatu aliho asatu na chanja bali khoti tsimbiti tsene nabukula kholi 10 nawo mwana wa ile somero alitsirama nakula tsikenga.
Petwa says that her project is moving on well, and very soon she's expecting the pigs to deliver the second time, and she's very optimistic that this PDM capital is going to help her to move out of poverty, and she plans to invest more of the profits into dairy and also buy land for expansion.
Niyongera khubala isa benkule hafu ndikindi kana haba haya ndakhali kho mundu rana lina nakhole ndie nabalaisa na funda mana papa Museveni eramu amongeretse khabe.
Besides diversifying her project by investing the profits into the dairy, she uses the waste from these pigs as manure for her banana gardens, which also benefits her.
Nafuna mbolea ali mbolea oyu ngana bimbilirendi ala aha ngafundira ikha isite imbire munano munimiro matolo ali kamatolo avenkulisa busa kimitwalo ki kumutwalo mutwere ali litolo yasengulisa kimitwalo kitaru kine rwembole oyu.
Nandala Agatha Wakoya, a resident of Nalwatsa village in the same parish, is also another beneficiary, and for her, she selected dairy when she received the 1 million from the PDM in April. She topped up 200,000 shillings to buy a good crossbreed cow when it had already conceived, and in December, it gave birth. Agatha says that every day she sells 6 liters of milk at 1,000 each, which has enabled her to save 360,000 shillings in a month of January and February. And if she is to sell the calf, it can make 500,000, which makes her project a success.
Kama sinanga na mine nandala kasohonya bama kama pe lituli lirange khabona sabadayar bama silingi tsabidi ye mu million ngaba me million huruna kho kabiri tina kho ngabiri munana mwezi ko hane ngumbiri abiri musatu na yenze ngafu nanyoranga ye ingiro munato pinga ho kimitwaro cyose kabiri erane kikulanga eri ni kumwezi mutwera ya esa alinga na kikula yasalire December ngabiri umukaka ali yasale ngafi ngasi ngamaka mabele litamukaka ali buluna khengulisa litamukaka uli litasiringi 10 alinga nakulisire ni na saving ali khu savinga kho sembo neni ingafu yese ingana itsoe irosere ni mawe atashirosera khu khama kumwesi ifuna mitwalo 18 ali nakhamile chimyesi chibili ifuna mitwalo 3 namani saving wose kale shirosera ni khukhama ate nirosera khubaya shengana ndolokho ta nirosera khubaya nase nitse ifune kamabele manya nakholeni abakho nisi saving wose nga isomero nabukulakho napilekho omwana isomero alitsirama narama mboneni ngakulomo ke ngafiki ngana khofuna tsingafu tsingalinga mu makamabele nasefuna khena bujanja bino mwembukulakho natye balebe bamukho nachanje bilakho nga yalwalile bilyo bikholo bilyo tsingoye tseka mbondi ndinatso bunyasi bukhalengala kimisakusa khurema mukunda omu nga khwachekele litoro khwachiya tsikyenga ni kamasifu isindala khukilisi.
Just like the previous speaker testified, Agatha also uses the cow dung wastes from the cow as manure for her banana garden. And as we went to shoot this documentary, we found when her husband was busy in the garden applying this organic manure, and when you compare Agatha's garden with that of the neighbor who doesn't apply manure, hers is very fertile and making good yields.
Funama kama shishe na khunyo funama kama bere na funa kama shishe na ira mutsinimiro tasi ngako mire kamalana na byalira mu kasoje sima president Museveni kho rosa fakhane mu butambi nga kasese mayi khane ndihendro mu butambi kho benyo kho bibele na saving kho kona na fune mosi mawo mwena aliyo.
While still in Bududa, we found a unique Namiendo 2 Busai Parish Development Model Enterprise Group, which is adding value to coffee and bananas. 2 members of this group received money and decided to invest together, though one is adding value to coffee beans to process coffee powder, and the other is adding value to banana to make banana flour and wine out of matoke. Patrick Wakaya, who is doing value addition on coffee beans, is the chairperson of this group, says that when he received the 1 million from the PDM program, he spent 700,000 shillings to buy fresh coffee beans, and the balance was used to grinding this coffee to remove husks, buying packaging containers for the processed coffee powder, and he bought some stickers for branding his products.
First of all, I received 1 million shillings. And I chose to invest in coffee enterprise. I bought some coffee beans, the fresh ones, of 700,000 shillings. Nachanishira. Hinga nanishire mwani yo. Nachamishira mal about 1.5 weeks. Yo mabulai. Aringa yo mile bulai. Natandia ho kitsunga. Full soko husks. Kano soma hasiksi mole kana male ko chitunga bulayi anyo na fulu kilo to samomo kilo kaga mutu about 70 kilograms nito te dry coffee alinga samno meso na ambacho mtu alakataka kala mabalance na kulomo packing materials na kulomo bukebe na kulomo stickers this packing gomo mwanyi before I dried it.
Wakwaya took us through the process of coffee processing, and the process is full of traditional tools, and they use a wooden traditional pounding mortar to grind coffee beans into coffee powder. They pack in small tins of 50 grams.
Seed buildings, you see them, you can pluck them from the trees. After plucking them from the trees, then you put in water. After putting in water sometime, you put in a machine which can move the husk. After the machine moving that, you can ferment it for 2 days. After fermentation of 2 days, you put it in water and wash it. After washing it in water, you dry it with dry sun, with the sun here, as you see, in a papyrus, using a papyrus dryer for about a week. Then after a week, we can try to measure the temperature, the temperature determination of the coffee dryness. After which, if it's very dry, we pound it. We don't use machines, but we use pounding, local way, the customary way of pounding it. After putting mushi weed, what we call it mushi weed. The mushi weed,
After pounding it, the pound husk to come out. After pounding it, finishing it, roast it. After roasting it, it comes in this form again. After roasting it, come in this form. Then you pound it. After pounding it, wachunga.
On this business part, Wakaya says that in each kilogram of clean dry coffee beans, they can get 20 packets of 50 grams, and each is sold at 3,000, which totals to 60,000 shillings. And when they deduct the costs, they remain with a profit of 30,000 shillings, and the market is available for their product.
If you get a kilogram of roasted coffee, then you pound it. After pounding it, wachisesa bulayi yamomo bukebe buno 20 of them. I'm selling this 3,000 now. Times 20 of them, that's 6,000. That's a kilogram, a kilogram. Then 60,000 I'm getting after 1 kilogram minus the stickers here. The what? Minus the what? The cane. Because the cane here is costing 1,000. So 20 of those canes are costing 20,000 shillings. So that's gone. Out of 60, 20 gone for packing. Remaining balance 40,000. The 40,000 stickers also, they cost 500 shillings each. 500 shillings each times 20 sticks is how much? 10,000. That's 30,000. The balance is meaning 30,000. So with labor, the community is the one doing it. So out of this 1 kilogram, we invest, we get 60,000, and all costs, we get 30,000 shillings net kilogram. That's the profit we get. On monthly basis, can produce 100 kilograms of powder coffee. The market is marketable so much. Public takes very much, and I can take even to Bale City areas who are picked interest in it.
One of the achievements from Wakaya and his group is a bull which they bought at 600,000 shillings, which was part of the profits from the project. And besides coffee processing, this group has another member who also received 1 million shillings from PDM, and for him is adding value to banana by producing wine and banana flour, and they work together with Wakaya to minimize the costs of rents, labor and other production costs.
That Mzee got also 1 million. The first man I got, he showed me the second time, he also added in. That's when this enterprise came in so seriously with the banana flour. Besides the coffee, I also has the program of wine. This one also comes from Matoke. Ripe, after putting the ripes, then you squeeze them, then you put some ingredients in, like soya, you put honey, you put coffee, then you make wine. It's also good.
Wakwaya, the group chairperson of Namiendo 2 Busai Parish Development Model Enterprise, says that their plan is to have a coffee processing factory in Busai Parish in Bududa so that they can create jobs for the youth in Bududa by adding value to coffee.
So we intend to make a big factory in this area which can give employment to all Ugandans, even the youth of Bududa here, especially the Ugandans, to get the employment of this project. So we're intending that if the government can come in and give us a grant of any sort, we are ready to do it because technically we are well equipped and we know what we are doing on the ground. So if it can be machinery, especially I'm doing this work pounding locally here, but if it can be equipped with the machinery, I can access that one in big quantity and employ the community, especially the youth.
Soronko district is known to be the biggest producer of tomatoes in Bugisu, and this has been evidenced by a number of PDM beneficiaries who selected this enterprise. One of such beneficiaries is Weyoya Tito from Kisenyi Ward in Mutufu Town Council, and when he received the 1 million from the PDM on the 17th of December last year, 2023, he bought tomato seeds at 350,000 shillings, and he used 300,000 shillings to buy fertilizers, and the balance was spent on preparing the garden and buying pesticides for spraying.
Milioni nonga nagifunire nagulako bumizo ngayendi kuza mukulima nasobola gula ko bumizo waweje mitwala 65 namala nalimisa ko mugunda mitwala 2 namala nganako lemba lila eseyo bumizo nanyalishiye kujanjaba bwamala bwatula nenga kuza kutula bumizo bwo kina inakosa mitwalo 5 kufuta kumbedi eseyo ne yasobola kola ki kola bulayi nama naza nafuna ko fertilizer busa ububiri nabugula kusinja mitwala 3 15 buli kasawo namala siringize sigalako nasobola kufuna ko mali sigalako gafuta bina bibyalo byesi sinji byeje mitwalo nga 2 kale ye milioni kakade kabanga kawere.
His garden is on a 1-acre piece of land and is expecting to earn 2 million shillings after harvesting, which will help to reinvest in the garden and also pay school fees for his children.
Ndikubala mweseti zinyanyi zino kizira bisera byeji myesi 3 nesobole kukungula era kisera kyendi kuganikirako kino ikikola lizi kungula nenge ndikusubira kuzikungula amaso mwesi gwekane guko gutandika buki isubira kufuna milioni nga 2 kubanga enyange ne bafu isubira kubona eti buli bafu nyala kugitunda siringi mitwalo 2 buli bafu kiroto kise kisubira kitinga nafune milioni 2 ndikuza kwiramo indini nimako zindare zisobole kusasula kwa bana basenana isomero naye basoma.
Woko Moses, a resident of Bumasaba village in Buguseke ward in Buguseke Town Council, is another PDM beneficiary in Soronko district, and for him, he chose poultry, and when he received the PDM funds during the first phase in May 2023, he bought 50 broiler chicks at 3,000 shillings when they were 1 day old, and after 5 months, he sold them and earned 1 million shillings, and when he deducted the costs, he remained with the profits of 300,000 shillings.
Senafuna sing is a PDM first phase. Mwesi gweka atano nga sumulumu. Nasobola kuba ya zingo ko atano. 1 day chick, it was 3,000. Then I sold them when they are 5 months. I was selling others 30, others 28. When I sold all, I got 1 M. And what I used, it was 700,000. So my profit was 300.
He then restocked his farm with 100 birds, which are now 3 weeks, and he expects to sell them at 4 months, and this time he is projecting to sell each at 35,000 shillings, which will make him earn 3.5 million, and feeding will cost him like 1,500,000. Transport to the market will also cost him 100,000. Medication also 100,000, on addition to the 300,000 which he bought the chicks. So the cost total comes to 2 million, which enables him to remain with a profit of 1.5 million in 4 months.
So I managed again to plan for 100. Now, if they look like 4 months, I will be selling at 35,000. That is 3.5. Feeding, like I will spend like 1.5. Then transport, it will take like 100. Medicine also 100. and I expect the remaining to be the profit now.
He has told us that his plan is to rear around 600 chicks of different types, including broilers, croilers, and layers at a go.
My future plan, I was targeting to have 600 chicks. I will not be having the same type. I want this one 200. Then the croiler type 200 also, then the layer type 200.